Now let's begin in Zamfara State, northwest Nigeria, where intractable banditry has reared its ugly head again. Bandits have abducted about 50 telephone dealers along the Gusau-Sokoto highway. The phone sellers, who are mostly occupants of the popular Bebeji Plaza, known for GSM repairs and sales in Gusau, were returning from Sokoto after attending a wedding ceremony of one of their colleagues on Saturday. They had parked their bus by the roadside after it developed a mechanical fault to look into the problem when a group of armed men appeared and ordered them into the bush. Because this is yet another sad story where people will find it very difficult to travel anywhere without having been waylaid or ambushed by people who are willing to, kidnap them and extort money from them.
Yes, it reinforces the fact that that whole area is not safe at all. It could happen to anyone. You are traveling on a highway and your vehicle breaks down. What do? You've got to find a way to solve the problem. You are not simply going to fold your arms. So the wedding guests parked by the side of the road. This guy just came and kidnapped about 30 of them and led them into the bush. That road, the Sokoto-Gusau road, is very unsafe. But it's important for our people to know that there are areas on that road that you cannot afford to take any risk. People need to know the portions of that road. You know, when we were talking about the Kaduna-Abuja highway, I talked about the stretch of that road where all the kidnappings take place. It's just about 30 kilometers. Outside of that axis, criminality doesn't take place anywhere. It's on that Abuja-Kaduna highway. And the same thing is true of this Gusau-Sokoto road. Dogwan Awo is one area where you can't afford to take the risk of stopping along the Sokoto-Gusau road. Once you are coming from Gusau, you've gone past the hometown of the former governor, Abdulaziz Yari. That's Mafara. You gone past that place, you get to Dogwan Awo. There is a forest reserve. There's a forest reserve in that area. So they will normally come from inside the bush. So people must know that that is not the part of, that's an area where you can't afford to take the risk of stopping. Because once you stop there, they will come out from that forest reserve and then kidnap people. The Sokoto State government owned the forest reserve, I mean the old Sokoto State.
And so if there is a forest reserve there and it doesn't happen first time, second time, why is it difficult for us to even go for them and,
this is the sort of question that people keep asking. We know the forest where these bandits are. We know all the forests where they are. In fact, each of the bandit leaders has his own areas of
territory,
influence. But on that highway, if we don't need a stationary checkpoint, well, motorized checkpoint can do the job. Because if you put many patrol teams on that road and they do their motorized patrol, that's the modern way of policing the highway. You do your motorized patrol. Once something happens, you are able to quickly rescue the people. But this is all the time this sort of thing happens.
The thing is, some of these people that are abducted by these bandits, they have phones on them. Even some of these bandits, these abductors, they use the mobile communications. Why is it also difficult for us to be able to trace them and stop them in their tracks?
We have said this several times, and we are sounding like a record stock in its growth. whenever things like this happen, they take people, they use the victims' phones or even their own phones to make calls. Why is it not possible that we use this to track them? Now, the name was advertised as the cure-all for all this. If you don't have it, your phone will be bad and all that. And wherever you make calls, we'll be able to know where you are. So what has stopped our security agents from knowing about this? The whole thing boils down to lack of political will to do anything. We are not ready to combat this. We are only ready to combat it only by issuing statements and talking about we are going to ensure that we stop this and all that. For instance, we are talking now, we know where these bandits are. And for these people, they are it's very, very unfortunate. If your car has a problem, there is no way you can tell the car, don't have a problem where there's in the forest where these bandits are. Yeah. You can't tell your car not to have a problem there. So if your car has a problem there and it can't move, what do? Do you come down and start running away? So the security agents must be ready to patrol this area, and also the issue of registration of phones, your phone number, name, and all that. What has happened to it? Why is it that people are kidnapped? People are filmed. The film is sent to the social media. The phone that filmed that, where it is filmed, there's technology for you to know where it is. Because
it can be stamped, the time stamped too.
Exactly. So why is it that Nigeria doesn't have enough phone to do that? Or is it that we don't have the political will to do it? These are things that continue to give one concern. We all know what happened to Osama bin Laden in faraway Pakistan, in Abbottabad, where the United States of America, right from the US, were monitoring him until they got him. So this is now in the Nigerian territory. Why is it that we cannot do the same thing? Is it a lack of fund? Is it lack of capacity? Or is it? And this thing is not rocket science. We have even young boys nowadays whose, when their phone get missing, they are able to track it and know that this is where my phone is. All they need is to get the police backing to go and get it. So why is it that the government, if a single boy, a single individual can do that, why not
the almighty government? Well, it's just one thing that actually before those ones, but we'll see how the government will be able to do these, just like we always hope on the government at the end of the day. In elections, just like any other contest, you win some and you lose some. But ability to manage victory or defeat is priceless. The battle for the presidential ticket of the All Progressives Congress has come and gone, but the outcome is still generating ripples. The governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, who participated in the APC presidential primary, is still livid about his loss. Governor Umahi, who is the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, is blaming President General of Igbo Social Cultural Organization, Ohaneze Ndigbo, Professor George Obiozor, for failure of aspirants from the region in the APC presidential primary. The governor declared that he will no longer recognize Professor Obiozor as the President General of the body. He also lambasted delegates from the Southeast states who are accused of selling their votes to willing buyers instead of defending the call for Igbo presidency. BK, just like we thought we are done with the APC primary, and then what we are looking forward to is them picking their running mate. But it does appear that the fallout of the primary, problem no they finish, as they say on the streets.
It's Umahi has every reason to be disappointed. He has every reason to be angry. When he joined the party, we were told that he joined because he had been promised the presidency. So the people who make all kinds of promises to people, promises that they have no capacity to fulfill, they are the ones that he needs to have a word with. Why? But this was not how we discussed it. This was not what you told me.
Yeah.
His disappointment is palpable. You can feel it. You can almost cut his disappointment with a knife. But he ignored some of the salient issues. Our friends from the Southeast need to change the way they play politics. They need to build the right alliances. That's the only way that victory can happen. If Umahi likes, let him be abusing delegates from now till Jesus Christ return. By the votes of Igbo delegates alone, they cannot win the primaries. Now, how Umahi should tell us, because he's the chairman of the Southern Governors Forum.
Yeah.
So he's an Igbo leader in his own right. He needs to tell us the extent to which that is attacking people now. He needs to tell us the extent to which he went to build those bridges across the Niger. How many of his friends who are governors from northern Nigeria was he able to convince about his intention to be president? He needs to tell us. This is not simply about whistling and twisting and tongue twisting at the same time.
Yeah.
He should tell us how many alliances he was able to weld between governors from northern Nigeria, where we have a huge chunk of delegates, and the Southeast. Because you can abuse those delegates by the votes coming from southern delegates alone. They can't get near even winning the primaries. So, as a contestant, how many of his own fellow governors from other parts of Nigeria even supported his cause? Before the election, on Monday, the Monday of the election, Ajuaju already had 14 governors. How are you going to defeat him? I used to tell people here that even if all the aspirants came together, they would still not be able to muster enough votes to defeat Ajuaju. Even before the election, I was saying it. Because I knew the strengths of each of the aspirants in terms of the work that they had done with the delegates. I knew. So Umahi, who performed so abysmally in that contest, is abusing everybody. Oh, I will not recognize Obiozo again. Oh, if you don't recognize and others recognize him, what does it amount to?
Well,
because it is not the thing. I can feel his frustration.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that the way to play this politics and to play it right, even Umahi did not play the politics right, or maybe he tried to play the politics right and achieved nothing at the end of the day. Because let him point at the governors from northern Nigeria that he managed to get to support his cause, that he managed to convince them to support the cause of the Southeast. Because the Southeast cannot produce the presidency of Nigeria unless they're able to build alliances beyond their region.
Yeah.
Because all of what he's saying now, I mean, it's just like an ostrich burying his head in the sand. Yes, he's not talking about what needs to be done.
Well,
listen, as historians, we can tell people like Umahi some of what they probably have forgotten or chose to forget. The MPN and MPP had some form of alliance that enabled Umezeoke to become Speaker of the House of Reps.
Yeah.
When was the last time that politicians from the Southeast tried to build that form of alliance? I can recall that even on 2 occasions when Buhari picked his running mate from the Southeast, he was rejected. So you can actually see an Easterner on a ballot, but that's no guarantee that his own people will support him. In 2003, Ojukwu was rejected by his own people. Yes.
Quite amazing.
So this is it. You've got to play the politics right. It's as simple as that. It's not. This is not head banging on the wall. No, it will amount to nothing at the end of the day. It's just empty gas. Show us how you played, even you, how you played that politics, because you didn't play it right.
You know, in addition to that, this blame game has to stop. What Umahi is doing is just giving Obiozo a bad name. He's like giving a dog a bad name in order to hang it. Perhaps my memory need to be gingered again. Was it not the same Umahi who withdrew for Lawan? Was it not the same one? So who is he blaming? Look, the truth of the matter, as BKO has said, is that there is need for people to look beyond their immediate environment. If you check, Buhari has been contesting before now. If you give only the northern votes, Buhari would have become president of Nigeria long ago. But because of the bridge that was built between the southwest and the north, he was able to get it. Now, you want to become the president of Nigeria. You don't want to build any bridges with the north. You don't want to build any bridges with the west. How will you? You don't have the size. You don't have the population. You don't have anything. He can continue till tomorrow to blame Professor Obiozo, but there's nothing the professor will have been able to, or anybody will have been able to do. Even if all the Igbo delegates in that contest voted for Umahi, he will still not have won.
He won't even come second.
So why is he blaming the old man for saying that he failed to support? What will he vote support Abraman? Assuming he even came out all the way to say he's
as a matter of fact, he said that he will not be part of Biafra again. That the cause that he's fighting now
that is his
for Southern agenda is for Ebonyi alone. That he and Ebonyi
I said no go. Agreed to be part of Biafra. Is he the only one who doesn't want to be Biafra? The governor of Anambra,
he should just
or even Abia, did he say he wants to be part of Biafra? So, I mean, look, even in the PDP,
he should just swallow his pride.
Anyim was rejected.
Exactly.
So this thing was not even limited to the APC. Anyim was rejected. And we are saying that this thing has, there is history to this thing. You look back and see, there was a time that Nwobodo contested in 1983, was rejected, and they chose the MPN Sisi from the MPN.
Yeah.
He was not re-elected. Nwobodo was not re-elected. So the way they got to play their politics right, they got to play it right, take the right decisions, build the right alliances.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they will be the better for it. All the years of support for PDP, what did it amount to?
All right.
That's the question. Now he's out of the PDP. He probably felt he will be Nigeria's next president. But that has not materialized now. He's now trashing around. Trashing around is not the solution.
Absolutely.
Just do some, sit back and reflect. And then recalibrate your efforts for future election.
Right, that's it. Race to Nigeria's presidency is filled with hurdles and potholes that are difficult to navigate. One of them is choosing a running mate due to the complexity of the country and electoral considerations. Presidential candidates of most political parties are under pressure to pick their running mate as the June 17th deadline given by the Independent National Electoral Commission for parties to submit names of presidential and vice presidential candidates approaches. Presidential candidates who appear to be under intense pressure to beat the deadline include Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, and Peter Obi of the Labour Party. While the likes of Governors Nasir El-Rufai, Abubakar Badaru, Simon Along, Senate President Ahmed Lawan, and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, are in contention to be picked as running mates to Tinubu. Those in line for the PDP vice presidential slot include former Senate President Ken Nnamani and Pius Anyim, former Imo Governor Emeka Ihedioha, as well as Governors Nyesom Wike and Ifeanyi Okowa. Well, BKO, how high do you think the stake is regarding this issue?
Well, it's as high as Burj Al Arab in Dubai. It's a tough one, and I don't envy those candidates. For Asiwaju, his position is even the more difficult, or the most difficult of all. It looks like, when you look at Atiku, he has to choose a Christian from the south. That's not difficult to find.
At all.
From the dominant tribes from the south, he can easily pick a Christian. He is a Muslim, so he can easily pick a Christian. That's the way the ticket has been balanced over the years. When it's a northerner that is the presidential standard bearer, it's so easy. You just go to the south, whether it's south or southwest or anywhere, you pick a candidate, you pick someone. If it's a southerner that is the standard bearer, it's also easy. He goes to the north, he can choose any of the geopolitical zones and just pick a Muslim from the north as his running mate. Obasanjo did that in 1999. Atiku Abubakar just won election as governor of Adamawa State. Obasanjo picked him, and on national television he asked him, would you be loyal to me? Because I'm going to make you my running mate. And Atiku promised that he will be loyal. And there and then Obasanjo made him his running mate. A Muslim, a Fulani from the northeast, against Obasanjo, a Christian from the southwest. When a Muslim from the southwest emerges as the standard bearer, it becomes more complicated, because for the politician he wants to win, he's looking at the major voting blocks from northern Nigeria. He has a decision to make. Asiwaju has a rich pool that he can choose from. He has a rich pool. But it doesn't mean that
you can just get into the pool.
It doesn't mean that it is so easy to just pick one of them. He can see a galaxy of stars before him. You look at the Christians available to him to choose from. You look at Governor Simon Lalong. He's the only Christian among the 19 northern governors. He's the only Christian. He has never lost an election. He's been speaker for years. He's been in the Senate. He is someone that the North appears to find comfortable to work with. Maybe because in Just Not, he did what others before him had not done. I bring in a Muslim.
Because we're extraying the difficulty for the flag bearers of the dominant parties, precisely APC and PDP, how difficult it has been for them to be able to choose their running mates. And you were on the thought, looking at, I think you mentioned Lawan, and
I'm saying that for Asiwaju, it is a much tougher challenge, because for Atiku, can easily pick a Christian from any part of the south. But for Asiwaju, being already a Muslim, it is a tougher decision for him. If he's looking in the direction of balancing the ticket along the line of religion, then amongst the people that have been touted, there is no one more qualified than Simon Lalong, the governor of Plateau State, because he is amongst them, is the only Christian who is currently a northern governor. Of all the 19 northern governors, only Lalong is a Christian. Don't forget also, Lalong is the chairman of the talking about the APC governors. Sorry, I'm not talking about all the. Among the APC governors, is the only Christian. Among the APC governors from northern Nigeria.
Okay.
He's the only Christian. Of course, we have people like Darius Ishaku. So I was talking about APC. It's not going to pick a Darius to be his running mate. Now, that's the only person who is a Christian.
Yeah.
And of all the people that have been touted, who are also Christians, if he's looking for a seasoned politician, that is also the most qualified of them all in terms of his achievement, in terms of the fact that he has never lost an election. He's been in the Senate, he's been chairman of the Speakers Conference in our country and all that. But I'm saying that it is not that easy. The candidate is looking to win. He's looking at where the decision that I would take that will enhance his own chances. It's not simply going to be thinking about what religion is this. He wants to win. He's desperate to win. And when you're in that kind of situation, you want to take the best decision that best leads you to victory. Abiola was in that kind of situation before in 1993, and he opted for Babagana Kingibe. Not just because Babagana Kingibe was also one of the front runners back then, but because he knew that if he had to win, he has to choose between the Northeast and the Northwest. Those are big voting blocks. So Asiwaju has a decision to make between choosing someone from the Northwest and the Northeast. If he's looking strictly about the power of
the numbers.
Yes, of numbers. And then, of course, he has to then decide whether to go for a Muslim ticket or to go to balance it up by looking for a Lalong or whoever. So this is the thing, and that is why it's so difficult. They've got to pray over it, they've got to fast over it. I know what is going through his mind now. Honestly, it's not an easy decision to make.
Not an easy decision.
And so many people are involved. It's getting many people involved so that at the end of the day, he can convince himself that, yes, I consulted widely and I took the best decision in the circumstances. Whatever it is not going to be easy. And he has to work hard to also reach out and explain to people who will begrudge him for the decision that he has taken, that look, this is what we just needed to do. So this is the thing. If he picks a Christian, there will be those in the north who will also complain.
They may not see their names on the ballot.
Look, you pick the Christian, but the bulk of the votes that I'm talking about is in the Northwest. The Northwest is overwhelmingly Muslim. You understand? That will be any decision that he takes, those who will complain will complain. So that's why I said I don't envy the position that he has found himself, because I know that he has to take a decision. Time is running out. If they do not meet the deadline, that means their candidature is invalid.
Well, Olayinka, just like he said, you can see that the flag bearer of the APC is torn between. Is a matter of, okay, do what people want, moral, according to just moral in quotes, lose the election. But do what you think will help you win the election, and maybe come back to explain to people later why you've done it. But then the ultimate goal is for you to be there.
Yes. He's sitting on the horn of a dilemma. We all know that. But my own stand is this. Some of us, or some, don't wear their religion as a lapel. But let's take a look at this. Majority or the ringleaders of those advocating for a Muslim ticket today were the same people in 2015 kicked against it and said Tinubu cannot be running mate to Buhari because they are both Muslims. So if it was wrong in 2015, why is it now right in 2022, 2023? The same people who are now thinking that if that argument is bought, they will likely be the beneficiary, are the same people who in 2015 kicked against it. So for me, I think what the Jagaban needs to do is to sit down, take a complete look at what are the possibilities. It is not religion we are voting for. Now, Jonathan spent 5 years, he is a Christian. Did he tie road that Muslims will not drive on? Or is there a special filling station that he built or a special thing that he did? Buhari is a Muslim. Is there anything that he has done that only Muslims will make use of?
That is tagged for
what
Muslims
we
or
should
Christian
be
only.
looking at is, look, we already have that problem of balancing.
Yeah.
And for you to move to one other edge will be a very, very dicey situation. So he who wears the shoes knows where it pinches.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
for him, he knows what he wants. For Atiku, is a done deal. There's no problem about where to choose, whether Southeast or Southwest, Christian or whatever. Of course, that one is already stock barrel chosen. For Asiwaju, he needs lot of strategies to convince himself and convince the others who might want to think otherwise, because this is a moment that, as Shakespeare said, there's a time in life when you take a decision, it leads to success or it leads to whatever. Otherwise. So this is the time to take a critical look and weigh all the options. The can we may say the can doesn't have any block vote or whatever, but never, for a politician, never you underrate any
group or any section.
Exactly. So it is better you do your calculations very well and think that what is the best option for me, because Nigeria.
All right. We've got Yakubu joining us from Lagos. Yakubu, the ball is in your court. Make your point.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother. Good evening, Babajide and the other gentleman in the studio. This is Yakubu by name. Babajide, you have said it all. First and foremost, every politician go to the poll believing that it's going to be election. And then the strategy that you are going to use to make you win the election lies on Bola Ahmed Tinubu now. Come to think of it, since 1999 we have been playing the card of Muslim, Christian, and other. Where are we today? So the basic thing is that the other guests have already said it. Atiku is already said. But I know Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a strategist, and then the best option, though this is my own personal opinion, and then it is not because I'm a Muslim, Babajide have said it, the block of votes comes from this northeast and the northwest. So in this kind of situation that he found himself, now, it is very, very, very difficult. But I believe it can be able to choose whoever he chooses. At least let him pick a Muslim if he has to win that election, because there in the north, forget it, Babajide, I think you know more than me. You know what I'm talking about.
Mate, thank you. Well, some also said that is it about, just like what, taking a cue from what Yakubu said, that we've got Muslim, Christian, Muslim, where are we today? Are we supposed to be laying emphasis on your religion or your capacity, what you can do, rather than looking at what you believe in, what your faith is about? Governor Nasir El-Rufai, in one of his outings, said that if we have decided to settle for Muslim tickets, we'll explain it, we'll defend our decisions.
Let's even leave out what Governor El-Rufai said, because people will say it's an interested party and all that. I'm not bothered about what he said. I have my opinion on this issue. And I've said that the House of Reps, both the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker are Muslims. No one talks about it.
Nobody talks about that.
They can see that Gbajabiamila is offering leadership. He's doing very well. So people can't be drawn into talking about his ethnicity or his religion or the religion of his deputy. When he's not there, Wase steps in.
And it
the
does the job.
from Plateau State.
Right.
He steps in, he does a good job. So people are not bothered. You know, I long for that day when Nigeria will have leaders that people won't bother themselves about where they come from. They will bother themselves only about the capacity of those leaders to deliver the goods. We have balanced it in the past, as people said, and it didn't even stop people from feeling that a particular religion was dominating others, especially at federal level, despite the so-called balancing. Now, no one can deny that if you do not bring a Christian running mate, that people won't see it as insensitive. People will see it as insensitive.
Absolutely.
And they will, let's not...
Yeah, we can't play that.
Let's not deny that it won't look insensitive. But at the end of the day, the decision belongs to the candidate. He wants to win. He has a decision to make. A decision that can make or mar him. A decision that can determine whether his dream of becoming president comes true. The majority is not always right. There are occasions, if we look into history, when the majority rooted for something and it turned out to not be right. Jesus Christ and Muhammad, when they were alive, they didn't really have many people following them. In fact, they were persecuted.
Absolutely.
They were hated for their faith. But today, even Twitter has not got as much followers as Jesus Christ. You know? So this is the thing. At the end of the day, it is the decision of the candidate. He has to decide the best route to victory.
Absolutely.
If he thinks it's not a Muslim ticket, then fine.
We need to change. Just quickly make a point.
Very briefly. The problem has been that the politicians are the ones who caused all this. In 1979, Lagos, we had the late Jafojo and Jakande. Nobody bothered about their religion.
Nobody was talking about it. But Jakande was performing.
Exactly.
He was the best governor of his era.
Exactly. But now things have we have gotten so divided, and that
everybody lines, ethnic lines.
Thing they ask you is, what religion do you belong to?
Just like you both said, we just long for that day where we'll talk about people and not about their faith and where they actually come from. As long as they are Nigerians, that's where we actually are supposed to be.
Look at Rwanda. There is no such thing as tribe.
If
you mention your tribe in Rwanda,
you are in trouble.
Everybody is from Rwanda. Nothing like your tribe.
Absolutely. Still talking Nigeria, and this time round, the power sector, which has witnessed worse times, and it appears no respite is in sight yet. On Sunday, there was nationwide blackouts in the country following collapse of the national power grid. That was the 5th collapse of the electricity grid in 2022 alone, after collapsing twice in March and twice in April, due to gas constraints, water management challenges, and gas pipeline vandalism. So, where will the blackout end? I'll start with you, Olanka.
Nobody knows. And it is shocking and disappointing that in a country where we have physicists, we have chemists, we have, talk of any profession in the world that we do with electricity. We have engineers who know a lot about solar power. We have closed our eyes entirely to that. So the national grid does not even have any supply from the solar, the abundance of solar power that we have. Then, every time we talk of power, collapse of the power grid and all that, what exactly is the problem? Is it generation? Is it distribution, or what? Now, it gives one a complete heartbreak that with all the scientists we have in Nigeria, both at home and abroad, what does it take to tap into the knowledge of these people that, look, other countries of the world, even in Africa here, forget about the West and the rest. In Africa here, there are countries that the issue of power failure has become a thing of the past. Why is it that we cannot learn from them? Why is it that we cannot make use of our own technicians, our own technologists? We only produce graduates, a graduate of physics or electric engineering or whatever wants to work in the office. We don't give them the opportunity to do the hands-on and bend down and do all these things. These are things that should not even be a problem for us at all. Rather, every polytechnics want to become a university. Every college of education wants to become a university. Yeah. So we are taking ourselves away from the practical aspect of all these things. Why should power grid break down? In fact, that's the question I've been trying to run my head around that. What exactly is the problem? Is it that we don't have enough engineers, or the engineers are being sabotaged, or they are not given enough resources, or they are given the resources, they are not using it for what they are supposed to use it for, or what?
Right. Biko, just that reminds me of a man who has been in the, I guess, US. He's been in the Western countries for many years. He came to Nigeria, he went into the bathroom at night, and he was having his bath. In the middle of the shampoo, the power officials, they took off the light, and by the time he opened his eyes, he started crying that he has lost his sight, he can't see again. 6 times in, this is the 5th time in 6 months.
That's a story that someone told you. And you chose to tell it on national TV. Well done.
So, fifth national power grid in 6 months. Where are we and where are we going?
Oh, you see, there are some problems that if we do not address them, and if they continue to get worse, the grid collapses will get worse.
We'll continue.
We have largely thermal stations, gas-fired power plants. We have 3 hydro plants, all contributing to the national grid. Now, if the water level is low, of course, our hydro plants are in northern Nigeria. This is not the peak of the rainy season. This is not the peak yet. Not even the peak where we are now yet. So, of course, the water level will have gone down. Now, if the water level goes down, the dam will not be able to perform the dam will not be able to perform this duty of generating power at optimum capacity. That is one problem. So then you have the gas powered stations. They have more than, say, 97% of our power source, the gas fired stations. The biggest problem they face is gas constraints. And what causes gas constraints? Sometimes it's vandalism. Sometimes it's just even the fact that the power plants are owing gas suppliers. Sometimes they will not supply them gas. Now, if you have 17 gas-fired stations, gas-powered plants, if for any reason half of these are idle because of lack of supply of gas, you are going to have grid collapse. Because there is a level below which you can't go. If you go below that level in terms of generation, it will trigger system collapse. This is what we've been having. You could achieve like 3,000 megawatts. If that problem, if they develop that problem suddenly, it can go from 3,000 megawatts to like 30 megawatts, 10 megawatts. That's what we've seen. In April, 2 straight days in April, we had system collapse. And that was what happened. On one of those days, it was 10 megawatts. On another day, it was 30. So gas constraints We've not been able to solve the problem of constant gas supply to this power plant. And these power plants are located far away from the source of gas. So all these vendors will sometimes break those pipelines in the hope that it is petrol that they will see. But once you break the gas pipeline, you cannot pipe it. We've wasted it.
Absolutely.
So this is what we are facing. We've got to deal with the problem of gas constraint. Honestly, if we can solve that, a lot of these problems will simply disappear. But to deal with that, the vendors, we need to deal with them.
BKO, because we have just about less than 2 minutes to go, what would you recommend, apart from some of the recommendations you said earlier? We've got the solar, we've got the wind, we've got different resources where we can generate power from.
Yes,
the
whole world is moving now to what is called off-grid electricity access or power access. The off-grid solutions are what you talked about, solar, wind, and the rest of them. So we need to coal. South Africa generates more than 40,000 megawatts each day, and they rely on coal.
Even
we are here as a country, so-called giant of Africa. We are boasting that we did 3,000 megawatts, and we call ourselves the giant of Africa. And a country like South Africa will be doing 42,000. Egypt today has more than enough, to the point that Egypt is even exporting to Europe. Egypt is exporting electricity to Cyprus and Greece. So, but look at us, look at where we are. They have more than enough. It is when you have more than enough that you can export.
Absolutely.
They have more than enough. Here, we don't have enough. I've not had light for like 3 days. No supply. No, I'm just using generator.
All right, quite sad. Olayinka, your final thoughts?
Now, I think we have to make more use of our scientists and give them that challenge. That, look, this is what we want. What do you need? Give it to them, and let's see whether they will fail us, and then we can begin to talk, or else.
And we need to unbundle even the power sector.
Exactly.
Let each state provide electricity for its people. Do it at their own pace.
At their own pace.
All right. Thank you very kindly, gentlemen. Babajide Kolade Otoju and Olayinka Oyegbile. Thank you, gentlemen, for your keenness of insight on Journalist Hangouts today. Well, that's it on Journalist Hangouts. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.